Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Toby Smith. This is the next big thing, and let's call this segment with the Chinatel guys Global Domination. Because, in fact, what George and Colin and their team have done is built the platform to build a global 4G carrier with a low cost for the data service that they're providing, with multiple revenue streams that are not just data, but also all the applications that go on top of that. So, George, when I say global domination, I'm not really kidding here. In other words, you've built a platform that, number one, you can take your individual companies public in their local markets. For instance, on Chinacom network, let's just assume, for instance, that you are able to negotiate a consolidating type pattern with them. Your plan really is to take each one of these operating companies public in their own markets, correct?
The legal structure and our overall plan with our partners and investors is to take each of these enterprises, each of these revenue-generating companies public in their own right.
And why? What's the idea?
Maximizes, we feel, our existing shareholder value and creates a long-term solution for our current shareholders, or a long-term exit for our current shareholders. We think the value proposition associated with those multiples in those countries with wireless networks like these are attractive to our shareholders.
Okay. So speaking of your shareholders, you mentioned that you are reloading or renegotiating your deal with the Isaac Group. Isaac Group has put about $25 million in. That's been your source of capital for deposits and your operating negative burn, et cetera. You're now looking for $50 million additional from the Isaac Group, and that will take you through 2011 and 2012?
Yeah, we've changed our model, obviously associated with the financing we've obtained from our vendors that are now our partners, ZTE in particular, and others. By the way, there's a lot of different products that go into building a network. So the net equity requirement is diminished. So we're currently under renegotiation with the Isaac Group. The Isaac Group is really now a group of investors, not just one family, but now it's probably 30 or 40 different groups under that investment umbrella.
And while we're on that subject, NBT, we've been sort of losing a 750 million share build out. Are we still on target?
Yeah. That number's never really changed. We have obviously the existing share price has affected dilution, but we feel with revenues and with the assets that we've acquired, our shareholders see a positive influence on that this year, which was part of our primary goal we talked about in segment one, which was generating revenues this year and creating the platform so that we move into 2015 with these additional acquisitions in other countries in Eastern Europe.
All right, so Colin, you're a big thinker. You operate in so many time zones, and every time I talk with you, I'm confused. But really what you're doing is you're going to have a global fiber network that will connect all of these networks. You'll have the last mile solution, if you will, the wireless, the 4G network. Is that the big plan, the idea that you'll be a global carrier? I mean, you're going to have to change your name one of these days, by the way, from Chinatel, the way you're going.
Yes, indeed. This is what our board is considering right now. And because of our global strategy and the recent success that we had in acquiring the few countries in Eastern Europe. So with the additional activities that's going on right now in Latin America and other parts of Europe, we are starting to seriously consider that we want the global marketplace as our main strategy now. So this is an issue that the board are giving serious thoughts to it right now.
Well, I mean, I think we sort of summarize is that you're able to build these networks cheaper and better, than the guys, because that's the business you guys are from. I mean, you understand how to build these things cheaper. George, you were saying in Peru that you're actually building your own towers because you can build them for a lot less than you could get them from American Tower.
Well, our lease rates are extremely attractive because we go direct to the owners and we lease our own locations and build our own facilities, which in the long run saves us on our OPEX in that country.
Right.
And that's exactly one of the value propositions that we do. We erect our own towers, and we pay $200 a month, let's say, in land leases instead of $2,500 a month to mount our antennas on someone else's tower. We build the facility for about $20,000, including the cost of a tower. I'm talking about a 110, 120-foot tower. And those are all parts of how we're able to provide this $8 to $12 solution for these growing, developing countries that are hungry for this connection. They're starving for these pads, and like you said, it's the pad, and it's all about the pad. Well, as you create the network, you have to be cost effective all the way down to even what you pay for a lease to build these facilities. Because remember, you're building hundreds, if not 1,000, of these sites per city to establish your basic connectivity coverage.
So, George, the global domination story is you need to be in a growing country. What's the revenue, and then you need a politically stable country too. I get.
Absolutely, that's really our target. You have a growing GDP, you have a very stable political environment, and you have per capita income that is your target base. We like about a $10,000 a year per capita income, with growing GDP as our foundation. So every country that you'll see us in, you'll see the same stamp from one country to another, same protocol, same structure. We feel, Colin and I and our team feel we've perfected that cookie cutter environment with regard to all costs associated with building the network, and at the same time delivering that pad, that dongle, that card, that CPE that creates the revenues.
Well, guys, I appreciate the time. I think we've covered a lot here. You guys have really transformed your company into, I'm calling, the global dominator. Guys and people who watch who maybe not shareholders with Chinatel, there's literally no company available to a public shareholder that gives you exposure to not only the 4G revolution, but to the low cost 4G revolution provider. We think the assets that Chinatel currently owns are worth in excess of about $2.5, $3 billion. We have a new valuation that we're coming out with here in the next few weeks that will go through the various scenarios that we think are happening. We think this is, we've said in 2011 this was our number one stock. We said it was a number one stock because the value of the current $70 or $80 million valuation is just totally out of whack with what they've done. I hope you've gotten a sense of the grand plan here and the world domination plan at hand. We will check in with you guys. Colin, it's great to see you in the United States. I'm sure you'll be back to Taiwan or Singapore soon. George, I know you just got back from Russia and you're going to have some stories on Russia. I guess in Russia you're going to be buying an insurance policy so that Putin won't take your assets there? All right.
Lloyd's of London.
Lloyd's of London. All right, guys. Appreciate it. You've been watching The Next Big Thing. Chinatel Group, or whatever they turn out to be in the future, is the 4G revolution leader. We just think it's a fabulous investment. Of course, full disclosure, we are major shareholders in the company and will continue to be. Thanks for watching.